Locardane.
Hello and welcome to Who Is Best, a show where I, Locardane, take games and give you choices and rate those choices in a tier list. You know, I've been making tier lists for over 4 years now. A lot can change during that time when it comes to video games. New strategies, DLC, and updates can often shift how good or bad a playable character can be. This is why I don't usually cover brand new games like I did with Persona 5 Royal back when it came out. My tier list back then was created shortly after its release, and going over it now, I felt it didn't actually represent the true placement of the party members. And that's why I took it down, and we're going to redo it. Today we'll be examining the 8 party members of Persona 5 Royal. As is my stance with these titles, I don't rank the MC of Persona games because they're so different than any other party member. Just assume they're God of God tier. In order to place a party member, I'll be looking at their usefulness in battle, equipment, character-specific skills and traits, accessibility, and synergy with other party members. If you want to see my previous list I created, you can check it out on my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Also, if you're new, be sure to subscribe for more video game tier lists. Oh, and stick around till the end for a bonus list. Alright, with all that out of the way, let's start with the tier. Akechi's greatest strengths in this game are his almighty spells and debilitate. He has good physical damage and pairs well with Ryuji's skill set. Now, the reason this guy lands on the tier is his accessibility. He's only available in one earlier dungeon and the final dungeon, and he sucks against the final boss. Akechi also lacks natural charge, and by the time you get him, Joker or another party member will already have debilitate, making him easily replaceable. Next on the tier is Morgana. Morgana is given to you from the beginning as a sort of early game support. He's a pure healer with his build focusing mainly on restoring HP and cutting SP costs. By the time you reach mid-game, there is absolutely no reason to use him. Makoto and Joker's healing can easily cover the party, making the need for a full-out healer obsolete. To add insult to injury, once the party learns Meteoron in the late game, Morgana's trait becomes absolutely useless. The low tier. Kasumi's skill set is far superior to Akechi's. She has amp, increased crit ability, great synergy with party members. She has an incredible support raising everyone's crit chance. Kasumi's faults are the same as Akechi's. She's accessed during the final dungeon and will receive her final persona pretty much at the end. Because of her late recruitment, she's unable to learn charge or concentrate, making her overall a less than ideal party member. The mid tier. Haru excels as both a magical or physical attacker and is the best gun wielder in Persona 5 Royal. What truly makes Haru viable is her unique skill Life Wall, which blocks a single attack for all party members. This essentially makes her one of the best tanks in the game. Now overall, physical attackers are better than magical ones in the late game, and her physical build isn't the best. She also lacks charge and concentrate, and because she comes so much later than other party members, you need to avoid the Jazz Club until she joins the party. I also need to mention that if paired with Anne and Makoto for a magical build, her Sai abilities are great and dish out some awesome damage. Yusuke possesses many flaws in Persona 5 Royal. He doesn't have charge, which means you are dependent on the Jazz Club to get him better skills, and in order to make him viable, he's completely dependent on Ryuji. With that said, Yusuke is one of the better early game party members with some great equipment, and in the late game he becomes important for a physical damaging team consisting of Ryuji, Joker, and one other party member. This happens to be one of your best team compositions because of the sheer damage it can dish out. Yusuke's physical damage is some of the highest in the game, and though his ice spells lose their usefulness, freeze can be helpful at times. Overall, because of support, Yusuke is an endgame must. The top tier. Makoto is one of the best jack-of-all-trade characters in RPG history. She can do anything, and she does almost everything well. First of all, due to a stat glitch, Makoto with her final gun is able to max out her stats long before anyone else. Her support is amazing. She single-handedly replaces all of Mona's healing while still being able to attack both physically and magically. She's incredibly fast and increases the ailment casting of characters like Anne or Yusuke. Checkmate is a debilitate move that hits all enemies, and Atomic Flare can dish out incredible single target damage. Her SP consumption is a huge problem, but aside from that, whether you're running a physical team or a magical team, Makoto is almost a must for every party composition. The God tier. Anne is underestimated in most lists of Persona 5 Royal. Her trait, which heals SP, isn't very useful later on in the game, and endgame resistance to fire is very common. But if you're only using her for casting fire spells and healing SP, then you're using her the wrong way. First of all, Anne's late game skill High Energy casts Concentrate on the entire party. This alone makes her the single best party member for magical damage. If put in a team with Makoto and a magically built Joker and Haru, she can devastate enemies. But none of that would put her in the God tier. The main reason she's here is for the status element Sleep. Early on, you'll receive Dormino, which can put a target to sleep. Later, you'll get Lullaby, which casts sleep on all enemies. Because of Anne's insane luck stat and sleep resistance being very rare, Anne becomes a god. Put an enemy to sleep and technical using any attack. It's a strategy that works from beginning to end and is highly effective. The final member of the god tier and top of this list is the absolutely busted Ryuji. Ryuji makes any physical party member the best character in the game. His trait, Raging Temper, buffs physical damage by 40% in the early game and 80% in the late game. That is just absolutely nuts. God's Hand is a destructive attack, and Mataru Kaja in the mid game is great. On top of this, Ryuji is incredibly tanky and naturally has charge. The only downsides I can think of is a lack of stat boosting weapons and his electric element being overshadowed by stun guns. Overall, if you slap on a physical Makoto, Yusuke, and Joker, Ryuji makes this the most optimal team in the game. And that's our list. I hope you enjoyed. If you're new to the channel, why don't you check out my perks for Patreon members by clicking on the link below. If you join the Pro tier, you can request your own list today. Thank you to all my Patreon members, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Bonus round. Top 10 best dressed thieves go. Number 10, Haru's dancewear. Number 9, Kasumi's leotard. Number 8, Akechi's dark suit. Number 7, Kasumi's Christmas outfit. Number 8, Anne's swimsuit. Number 5, Ryuji's Christmas outfit. Number 4, Futaba's swimsuit. Number 3, Anne's red latex suit. Number 2, Futaba's Christmas outfit. And number 1, Joker's dancewear.